Hello and welcome back to Wake Up with Dr. Cheryl. I'd like to start with a joke. An older man, not in the best physical condition, asked his trainer in the gym, "I want to impress a beautiful young woman. Which machine should I use?" The trainer said, "Use the ATM machine outside." This wasn't meant to offend anyone. I'm sharing something a bit different tonight that I'm going to start with. The words good and evil in Aramaic, which is the original dialect that Jesus spoke, is translated to ripe and unripe, which gives a different perspective to our human and spiritual perspective. Instead of good and evil, it's ripe and unripe. We are all born with the potential to live in goodness, truth, and abundance, and each with a different degree of maturity. When you directly translate Aramaic to English without going through Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, you will find a different Lord's Prayer than the one that begins with Our Father who art in heaven. Translation directly from Aramaic to English is by Neil Douglas Clotes. O breathing life, your name shines everywhere. Release a space to plant your presence here. In other words, open your minds and your hearts to the presence of Spirit God. Envision your I can now. Embody your desire in every light and form. Grow through us this moment's bread and wisdom. Untie the nose of failure, binding us as we release the strands we hold for others' faults. Let us say this again. Release the strands we hold of others' faults. Help us not forget our source, yet free us from not being in the present. From you arises every vision, power, song, from gathering to gathering. Amen. May our future actions grow from here. We live in a world of vibration and sound effects, our physical selves and inner being. That is why repeating scriptures or mantras bring inner peace. With it comes deep relaxation or a meditative state that opens us to unlimited potential. On the global financial front, just to show you how justice and karma are being served in the financial world, I'd like to share these from Reuters. Ex-Goldman Sachs Group, Inc. trader Matthew Taylor pleaded guilty to defrauding the Wall Street Bank with an unauthorized $8.3 billion futures trade in 2007, saying he exceeded internal risk limits and lied to supervisors to cover up his activities. Another one from Reuters. Michael Steinberg, a portfolio manager at Stephen Cohen's $15 billion hedge fund, was arrested by the FBI at his home in New York City in connection with the long-running insider trading investigation. I'm happy to see and to be able to share these righteous actions occurring in the crimes on Wall Street. We must never give up hope. Remember that there's more than enough money for everyone to live very comfortable and free, and it all starts in your mindfulness. There's more than enough money circulating on this planet for everyone, every 7 billion of us, to have $8 to $10 million apiece. We are very honored to have our guests, Shanti and Jay Hudes, this evening. Shanti and Jay have been together for 33 years, and for the first thing Jay said about their relationship was, they have fun together. Shanti is originally from Zurich, Switzerland. She studied social work, holistic skin and body care, and psychology. She is a co-creator of Experience the Game, in which they will explain later in the program. Jay is originally from New York and studied at the Boston University and Friends World College. Jay is the CEO of Experience Technologies. Together, Jay and Shanti have created the Be and Be Well Healing Center, where Shanti mentors and runs the center, and Jay handles all the technology. They also created the modern version of the flotation tank, which is named Floating on Cloud 9, a healing tank. They live and have their center in Ben Lomond, Santa Cruz. I love having them on the show because it's a great example of how couples can live, love, and work together for 33 years. Wow. And they will share their insight. This is the first part of a two-part conversation with Jay and Shanti. We have Jay and Shanti here this evening, and I'm so happy to have you here. I'm very excited to have our conversation. And I know I had sent you some questions, and I'll start with one anyway, and that's about how you were raised around money and what your parents or teachers, how they raised you, and how did they help you think around money?
What a full spectrum, first off, and thank you for having us on the show. This is wonderful, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, so in us looking at our differences, because we are so different from different cultures and backgrounds, and so it's really interesting. We were just discussing some of the questions, and this one is, again, from my perspective, my parents were, we were so wealthy on one level. And
what level was that?
On the level of,
I mean,
compared to the rest of the world, right?
Are you talking monetarily, money-wise, or just love?
There was more, again, there was abundance. There was always abundance. But there was also always fear.
Yes, that is the biggest.
And so it was always balanced between those two, not even having enough and coming from a middle-class family. And my father worked really, really hard to do what he, to take care of the family and to send us all to college and do all these different things. And
how many children were there?
So I have two other sisters, so there's three of us.
Okay.
And my parents are still around, which is really
wow,
cool.
wonderful.
So, yeah, the whole family, and we're all unbroken families.
Yeah.
So all three siblings are still married and have kids, and they're grown
how
up.
How unique that is?
It's pretty unique, yeah.
Today, that is.
So I think we learned what to do and what not to do was part of both on relationship level.
Obviously, your parents were a good role model for long-term relationship. I'm so happy to have you on here, and I've said that already, but just the fact that you worked in love and have been together for 33 years, that says something in itself.
Yeah, it's a big blessing.
Yes, for both of you.
Yeah, because we hear that so often.
And it's a good example. That's why I like to have you on the show as an example of what works. And especially, so tell me, Shanti, what was your situation with money?
You're absolutely right. I think it's our parents that teach us so much through being, because the information that we get in the first couple of years is tremendously important in ruling our subconscious mind. I mean, we learn about that all the time when we talk with people, and I was very, very lucky. I grew up feeling we were upper class because we had lots of books. Yes. I got all the education that I needed. Yes. My mother had time to play with me. We always had good food. And when I was 5 years old, I actually created a bazaar and sold all the toys I didn't need anymore to send to Albert Schweitzer, who just opened up Lamborghini.
Oh my goodness.
And I saw the pictures. Here. And these kids, they were not very wealthy. They only had tiny little loincloth, and they only got rice. They didn't have vegetables. And I always got some chocolate for dessert, too.
Swiss chocolate?
Swiss chocolate.
So, part of the wealth
of course.
So actually still goes on to today.
I grew up rich, really rich. Yeah. I did not know that some people owned their own cars or their own houses. It didn't really enter to me that we lived in a 2.5 bedroom, my father, my mother, and I, and our cat, in a 9-family apartment place. It didn't occur to me that my mom on Friday didn't have meat, not because she was Catholic. She always told me because she was Catholic and we would only
okay.
But because we ran out of money.
Oh, okay, okay.
But my mother grew up with a very anxious mom around money and a very courageous father around money. He went bankrupt twice, her father. And when she asked, are we poor? He would say, oh no, we're not poor, honey. We just don't have any money.
Well, but that's okay, because to me, poor is the mentality, you know, that is, you know. So it's good that he didn't say you were poor, because you didn't feel yourself as poor.
And we brought that forward.
And it's the same thing with my father. My father grew up during a time when the money appreciated by the hour. So he had to run home from school, take the money that his mom made with cutting out laces, run to the bank, try to deposit it in time to get a loaf of bread. Yeah. So he told me, money, you could actually wallpaper the toilet.
Oh my goodness.
Money?
I love it. I love it though. But that's planted seeds in your subconscious, in your mind.
So when you ask me, do we ever have arguments about money? No. Not much. It's more energy. For us, money is energy.
See, it is, yes.
And that's what I learned from my parents. It was time. Money was time. Money was gifting each other with presents.
You were totally blessed to have that.
I was.
Totally blessed.
And also in a system that really works from Switzerland is quite a different kind
yes.
of wiring. And
yes, it
more
is.
things are given as part of the, you know, the infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And again, money buys quality. So you might as well start with quality.
Absolutely.
You know, and then the money, it's never a real concern, but we're not very showy in our culture about having it. So you also wouldn't know the differences so much between rich people and poor.
With my experience with Swiss, and since I've been there as well, I haven't lived there, but being involved with a Swiss family, that is just kind of a known thing that there is more upper class. I have never seen a Swiss that is poor.
Oh, yes.
Now there is, and it wasn't though when you were
Actually, there was. I did not know. I did not know.
You weren't exposed to it.
I was.
Oh, you were?
I was, and I was actually told in kindergarten and by my first class teacher not to interact with certain friends. And I did, of course. Wow. Whenever they said not to. And I wouldn't, since we were very rich, I would bring them toys and I would bring them sweaters.
Sweet. Yeah,
like I had one friend that really only had one sweater. Luckily, we were the same size. And my mom was very good about that, you know. She would always support me in giving away things. So for me, again, money is energy exchange.
Yeah, and that's
it's letting it flow through you.
And that, what you're saying right there, is what I'm trying to help the world, or to help the viewers understand, so they don't have the blocks and the misthinking, the wrong thinking around money, because wealth in money is everywhere. It isn't, it isn't just the money. It is, but it's an energy, and to keep that flowing.
Can I say one more thing? What really struck me about your question, and I was thinking about it all day. What does money mean to you? What does wealth mean to you? I realized money and time is our biggest fear right now. And
in
both entities, both measurements of how wealthy you are, money and time, are artificial. They have nothing to do with life, isn't it? I mean, when you think in terms of time, it's metabolic. One of the things, some people look and feel really old at 30, some look and feel really young at 60.
right, exactly.
So another thing, time, there's vertical time, there's horizontal time. When we play in our communication tool, 1 hour feels tremendous amount of time to get to know each other and connect with each other.
Well, that's because you probably go to the heart anyway, and you don't have that superficial stuff that gets in the way.
So how do you want to measure heart?
Yes.
And it's also horizontal. What I'm thinking right now is horizontal and vertical wealth as well.
Yes.
Because that's for us is like a well. We call it well, and wealth is kind of the same vibration.
Yes.
And how deep down the well do you go? There could be the surface, and it's just show, and it's, the nicer car or whatever it is, or you have this lifestyle, a very high quality lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so we've banked on that. For us, we don't have lots of money yet.
Yeah.
We're totally open for that part.
But
we have such a wealthy.
What? This is the whole thing about wealth consciousness, is that you already are there. It's just the timing, and
it's all synchronicity.
It's the synchronicity, just like for me too. I mean.
Yeah, we've been living together for 33 years. Sometimes we have to fast. It's good to do a cleanse, especially when you don't have money in the bank. Then you just do a cleanse. It's that's the beautiful luxury, that we never
But
have
see,
to
here-
worry about hunger, that we have to freak out when there's not enough.
And we always have a quality lifestyle.
And
Yeah.
you
all
know,
the time.
and that's the wealth that I am seeing, and because it comes out of, you know, the wealth comes out of your relationship. The wealth is in your relationship.
Yeah,
That's what I'm seeing, you know, because and you work together.
and it's also, we part of our mission has, right down the line, has been to have healthy relationships on personal, so within ourselves is
Right,
really
well,
important.
that's the most important.
Interpersonal,
Yes.
global, and universal.
Yes.
So for us, it's on all those levels of growth and you know, having that connection. You know, so it's as much connection as it is.
And that should be the birthright for everyone on this planet.
Absolutely.
And that's why it is so artificial that some people shouldn't have enough time to breathe, shouldn't have time to be with each other, to be with their friends, to be with their kids. That some people, like 90%, shouldn't really have good health care.
Oh,
There
I
is
know.
enough,
Well, our
there's
system-
enough
Well,
wealth
it's
going
broken.
around
It-
the whole
no, it
globe.
is. It needs a tremendous
Just for the
rehabilitation, and it needs a reformation and transformation. And I think it's. I mean, everything that's happening on our global right now is transformation.
Yeah.
I mean, I read every day on what's going on in the financial world and the health world, and I read. I get so I don't even want to read the health. You know, the major race consciousness about health, because they're concerned. It's just pharmaceutical companies. It's all money, money, money,
Right.
money, and they're the worst culprits. So, and I don't even want to get on that because that just boils my
We're
blood.
going to keep the positive vibe
Yes,
down.
yes, thank
and
you.
send out nice and
Yes,
you know,
yes,
positive
you know,
vibes
but-
for that transformation, because that's
Yes.
why it's on the
But just the-
surface
Yes,
also.
but all of, you know, like today I was talking about two CEOs or investors in Goldman Sachs. One finally is getting arrested because $8.3 billion. I mean, it's all surfacing.
Exactly.
And this is, you know, I started on this whole purpose and passion in 2008 after or during the time that Bernie Madoff got stuck with $65 billion of absconding from his clients, you know, and I thought, well, no, wake up. People need to wake up because
That's what they're called.
greed,
Yeah.
it's, and you know what? It's the void inside. It's the void of the spirit inside of themselves, that they're greedy and they want more and more and more because there's
Cheryl,
lacking
I don't
inside.
even know. I don't even know what it is, and I don't even want to go there because it's sick.
Well, it is
It's
sick.
painfully sick
It is.
programming that people buy into it through generation, and it's not even their fault.
But it's important because it's shadow play. And that's for
It
us to
is
see. It's been going on
important.
for genetically down the line for
Yes.
generations, you know, self-imposed systems and control and
Yeah.
royalty and just caste systems and all this. And we're getting
And-
to globals, we're becoming global citizens.
Yes,
We're
and this is
globalizing.
why
So there's a
all
negative side and there's a positive side.
yes,
We're
and
learning
and,
from it.
and even though it's painful, that all this negative is surfacing. I mean, I
Exactly.
read almost every week of something surfacing because of the inequity and the greed, and I'm glad for it. These people need to wake up.
Yeah.
You know, so in that respect, it's a good thing.
So that's them. How about us? Jay and I, we see about 100 people every week, new, older ones. And I just looked at it, just counted since I went to do this TV show with you. Living in the land of more, there's about 99 people who are afraid about not having enough.
Oh, see, that's the mentality
Out
that
of
has
100.
to stop.
And it's not that, I could not say they have a void inside of them. A lot of them are meditating, loving, sweet beings. It is a conditioned fear that there's enough, a conditioned survival fear.
It's in all the media.
Not enough
it's-
time.
Oh, well, see,
Except for here.
you can't
Yeah.
listen to the media like you're saying.
Except for here.
Well, yes,
On a TV show, yeah, don't listen to the media.
It's how
No.
it's really the controlling
it
media.
starts.
You know,
It's like, okay, like I say at the end of my show, which you'll hear when you see this on the TV or the web, is that, you know, when fear knocks, let faith open the door. So see, it's that spiritual connection that fills that fear I truly believe that. I mean, I have been through bankruptcy, I can't even say the word, twice.
Just like my grandfather.
You know, and it's because, and I realize it's because I trusted people that I shouldn't, and I should have trusted myself more. So I've learned the hard lessons, and I obviously had fear there.
You know, you probably would have had much less fear and less hard lessons if you had some really good friends carrying you through.
Supportive.
Before and after, if you had a network. And that's that isolation again. There were people are afraid of survival, are afraid that there's not enough money, not enough time, because they don't have a network that is supporting them.
And also the system feeds that fear.
And
they
it
want
does.
you to be in fear,
Absolutely.
then you're sucked in, and you're not going to revolt.
It's really sick. You're right. It's very sick.
Yeah.
So that's our remedy.
Dysfunctional. Yeah. So this is why every day I always meditate and I have positive thoughts. And whenever I start thinking those fear thoughts, we have to stop them immediately. I mean, I remember when 22 years ago, when I got on my daily meditation, when I first started this, I would say, you know, when I'd start thinking negative thoughts, I remember yelling out in my home, "Stop it!" You know, because it's just such a waste. It's, you know, it's self-deprecating. It's not productive in your mind, and we have to we have to change, we have to switch, we have to have discipline to change those thoughts.
So one of the projects that we're working on right now is creating a video. We're doing a video game.
Yes.
Right? You don't even know this. I don't think we've talked about this.
No, but I want to hear. I'm going to bring up.
The reason I want to just tell you, because you're actually improving your mental capacities by going against the shadow part of yourself, the negative thoughts, and finding the right keys, the positive thoughts, to actually balance them out.
Yes.
So within a video game, you'll be able to do that.
Yes, and that is super.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think very important is that in a video game you can also be interactive with other game players.
Well, see, that's
because
the whole key.
Alone you can yell, "Stop it!" all you want. All your brain is getting is "Stop it." It does not even know why. It's got a jolt. But if you are together with other people that are supporting you in who you are,
and that is
and they raise the frequency and make you just happy, you stop worrying naturally. You're just laughing. Oops, what happened?
Yeah. No, it's true.
You know, it's just a whole shift again in the time. You know, if you look back in history of the last 100 or so years, you know, I call it, we've been in monopoly mind for this whole 20th century, and going into the 21st century.
I know,
it's not monopoly anymore.
No.
So it's holding on still, because it is going into a more of a cooperative, collaborative environment, businesses and all that. But we're still hanging on to that part of the negativity in the world and in our economy and you know, and all the different aspects of it.
Yes, and you know, there's more than enough. There's more than enough money circulating on this planet.
But everybody
to
on the
have
planet
$8 to $10 million apiece.
There
Even
you
the
go.
babies in Africa and India.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much actual cash money is circulating. So only maybe just 2% have the lion's share.
And maybe that's where it ends up, because we were actually taught, we were blessed to have an enlightened master that we lived with for many years, for 18 years of our life. And he talked about free cash flow money at one point. And the rest of the universe, this is how it works, is that there's a free cash flow money. And money's circulating. It's all about the circulation, of it. Instead of, if we're here, we're damming it up and if it's all circulated, then it's a perfect, the system just flows. So.
But if you don't have the money, you can't circulate it. So you have to circulate
it's all
you
relative.
have to circulate something else.
Yes.
So what do you circulate? You circulate information.
Information and time. I volunteer.
Jake circulates time and energy.
Yeah, time and energy. It's
and
true.
You do information and time. Yeah. And that's the new value.
Absolutely. That's the wealth. That's the wealth.
It goes a step further. It's also who, it used to be like who you know, but it's beyond that. It's not just who you know, but who can you help by making connections. It's more the networking part. That's where we came together again in CEO space, of how we can help others in front of ourselves, or as part of us reaching out ourselves, we now can make connections, and I thrive in that. I know you thrive in that.
I love being able to help
so good
people
to make that
get their purpose and their passion out there, so people know about it, and they can heal and learn and be part of it. I love it.
So if we can track all those connections that we make, we're millionaires. We were all millionaires, you know, because
Absolutely.
we're all that energy that's flowing through the connections.
And I
that
think
we're
this is also a transition. This is a transition period.
It's true.
It's like Deepak Chopra says, we're part of the transition team.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. That's our livelihood.
Yes.
Our Be and Be Well is designed for people in transition and transformation, and just to give them the experience of connectivity with their own inner guidance and with everybody around them.
The village.
And also with the technology. One of my friends, David Hooley, is a futurist, and he just came out with his book about the shift era. So he talks about that the information age, right? We went from the industrial age to the information age, but we're now in the shift age. He calls it the shift age. He's termed it, and that makes sense, right? It's not just about the information anymore. There's a whole other level of.
You know what? It's implementing. I think.
Right.
The heart and the mind.
Integrating.
It's integrating all of it together, so we can be whole.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, there's so many broken souls and broken people out there, and what we're doing is helping. You know, if one person gets it, like watching the show, if they get it and they get a little bit of uplift from it, then thank you.
This is one of my biggest joys in life is when someone gets it.
Yes.
Because we play the game, right? Or experience the game, and
well, I got it the first time that you showed me. Oh,
you got it, right?
I got it, and I thought, wow, and at that time I thought, you're a little ahead of your time, but it's coming. I knew that it was coming.
People thought there couldn't be a game if there wasn't any losers. There's no excitement.
Oh my! We got challenged there for years.
Everybody wins when there's excitement.
They don't have the knowledge to understand this, and this will help them get there.
So what we came up with is once you get it, then you got it.
Yeah.
Once you got it, then you have to give it. Once you give it, then you really got it.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's our tagline for Experience the Game now.
Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future, by John F. Kennedy. A lack of transparency results in distrust and a deep sense of insecurity, by the Dalai Lama. Never give up on your pursuit of your purpose and passion, even if you don't know what that is. Work with integrity and have a positive attitude wherever you work, and especially with your friends and your family. Be grateful for what you have, who you are, and be grateful for your freedom. And eat healthy. Good nutrition feeds the mind and the body, your body temple. Don't forget to exercise, move your body. Feed your spirituality with meditation and prayer, with unconditional love, and firstly, love yourself unconditionally. And share your abundance and wealth with others. Thanks for watching. Please support Marin TV that brings these messages. Remember, when fear knocks, let faith answer the door. Bye for now, until next time.